This is Chuck Martin at Informa Tech, and I have with me today Jenalea Howell. Welcome, Vice President of this whole group. How are you?
Chuck, good. How are you?
Good. So it's time to look at the year ahead, 2024. What do you think? What's coming?
It's a good question. I mean, it's been quite a year for AI. So thinking about next year, we were sitting in June asking executives together what's going to happen next year. What do they think? And everybody's really struggling with that question. But I do believe what we've seen this year is folks dig into what's in the news, this hype, this conversation going around Gen AI, and starting to really push on that. And how do we take that to true ROI, to true applications? And I think that's what we're going to see next year is the places where Gen AI will be successful and we'll actually see impacts for business out of this. And folks really solidify strategies, because I still think that strategies are going a little bit circular at the moment. There's too many questions coming up, trying to figure out what do we do with this technology. It's moving too fast, right? But now I think next year we'll see that calm down and companies create true, solid strategies.
So technologically, do you see it moving more outward, more towards the edge, into smaller devices, that sort of thing?
Well, that's a good question. I do believe that. I mean, we have multiple groups. We have a research team in our group as well, a market research team, and they've been tracking this technology and what kind of innovations coming out. And we're seeing a lot of at the edge intelligence increase. Coming from, covering IoT markets for a long time, we've heard all of these, terms over the years, IoT, intelligence at the edge. And now we're hearing edge AI. What does that fundamentally mean? I do believe there's a marketing aspect to that, and we see some rhetoric around that in terms of calling old applications new things, but then actually breaking down and looking at some of these technologies that companies are releasing. There is some actual changes that we're seeing in the technology that we can truly say, no, AI is being more increased at the edge.
And you see it getting more cost effective, basically? Like cost coming down or more cost effective in terms of ROI?
I would love to say that we've seen that happening. I think we see the potential for that to happen. So I don't believe yet we've seen the costs drop dramatically, right? But from what we're looking at, and we start to see the changes in processor costs and coming out with different levels of processors, I do think we can start to see those cost formulas change for Gen AI next year. But it's on the path. We see companies moving in that direction. I'm not sure we've seen that at scale yet.
And Gen AI was a surprise to virtually everybody, the entire industry and marketplace. Do you think that now, at least for the next year, there won't be any mega surprise?
Oh, goodness. I mean, it was, this week? Was it about this week, 1 year ago, when the news hit around ChatGPT and the conversations really started flying of what is this, what does this look like, and what's happened all year. I don't think that that's slowed down. I mean, we look at the last few weeks, there's been surprises in this space that we weren't expecting on a Friday evening, right? I think the news cycle around AI right now, there is still chaos in the market.
Well, it's going to be an interesting 2024. Thank you, Jenna, and thank you all for listening.